Welcome, dear viewers. With you is the explorer Hamo from the World Stories channel. Today we're diving deep into ancient Rome, but not for a tale of conquest or glory. Oh no, today's story is far juicier than that. Buckle up as we explore the wild, wacky, and utterly outrageous life of Emperor Elagabalus, a man who makes Caligula look like a choir boy. Before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button like you're Elagabalus at a banquet. Subscribe for more historical hijinks and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming, the utterly bonkers reign of Emperor Elagabalus. Elagabalus, originally named Varius Avitus Bassianus, wasn't your typical Roman emperor. His story is one of the most unusual and fascinating in the annals of Roman history. Born in Syria in 204 AD, he wasn't even Roman by blood. His roots were deeply embedded in the rich and diverse culture of ancient Syria. Elagabalus's claim to fame? He was a priest of the Syrian sun god El-Gabal. This role was not just a religious duty but a position of significant influence and reverence in his homeland. Talk about a career change, right? From a revered priest in Syria to the ruler of the vast Roman Empire, his journey was nothing short of extraordinary. Imagine a teenager, barely old enough to grow a beard, suddenly ruling the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. That was Elagabalus. His youth and inexperience made his ascent to power all the more remarkable. Through a series of fortunate events, including his grandmother's cunning political maneuvering, this young priest found himself crowned Emperor of Rome at the ripe old age of 14. His grandmother, Julia Maesa, was a master of political strategy and played a crucial role in his rise to power. Talk about being thrust into the limelight. Elagabalus had to quickly adapt to the immense responsibilities and pressures of being an emperor. You think navigating high school was tough? Try ruling an empire before you even hit puberty. Elagabalus's reign was marked by his attempts to integrate his Syrian religious practices into Roman culture, which often led to controversy and conflict. His story is a testament to the unpredictable nature of history and the incredible journeys of those who shape it. Now, most emperors would at least try to look the part, all serious and statesmanlike. Not Elagabalus. He preferred to live life in the fast lane, Roman style. We're talking lavish banquets, extravagant parties, and enough silk and gold to make even the wealthiest senator blush. Think of the most over-the-top parties you've seen in movies. Multiply that by 10, then add a dash of ancient Roman opulence, and you might, just might, get close to the extravagance of Elagabalus's daily life. This emperor knew how to party, and he wasn't afraid to spend ludicrous amounts of money doing it. Hey, at least he stimulated the Roman economy, right? But Elagabalus's eccentricities weren't limited to just lavish spending. His reign was marked by a series of bizarre and often outrageous antics that left his subjects both bewildered and amused. This emperor had a mischievous side, a penchant for pranks that would make even the most seasoned prankster blush. His sense of humor was as grandiose as his lifestyle, and he took great pleasure in orchestrating elaborate jokes. Imagine, if you will, guests at a banquet, expecting fine wine and delicacies. The air is filled with the aroma of roasted meats and exotic spices, and the guests are eagerly anticipating a night of indulgence. Instead, they were showered with a downpour of rose petals, thousands upon thousands of petals, cascading from the ceiling, covering the guests and the entire banquet hall in a fragrant, colorful blanket. On another occasion, Elagabalus, in a fit of jocularity, decided it would be hilarious to release a pride of lions into the Senate chamber. The majestic beasts, bewildered by their new surroundings, roamed the hall as senators scrambled to find safety. Imagine the scene, senators, used to debating laws and arguing politics, running for their lives from a bunch of very confused lions. The chaos that ensued was nothing short of pandemonium, with senators clambering over one another in a desperate bid to escape. Now, some might call it madness, but you have to admit the man had a sense of humor, even if it was a little unorthodox. His pranks were legendary, and they added a touch of unpredictability to his reign. Whether it was a shower of rose petals or a surprise visit from lions, Elagabalus knew how to keep his court entertained. Section 5. Unconventional Marriage and Sexuality. Now for a topic that raised more than a few eyebrows in ancient Rome, Elagabalus's love life. Let's just say the emperor's romantic preferences were as unconventional as his parties. He married 5 times, and that's not even counting his alleged affairs with both men and women. One particularly scandalous story claims that Elagabalus wanted to marry a male athlete named Hierocles, and even went so far as to offer half the Roman Empire to any doctor who could give him female genitalia. Needless to say, Elagabalus's love life was a hotbed of gossip and intrigue, even by ancient Roman standards. Section 6. Religious Upheaval. Remember how Elagabalus was a priest of the sun god Elgabal? Well, he didn't exactly leave his religious fervor at the palace door when he became emperor. He attempted to install Elgabal as the chief deity of Rome, even building a grand temple in the god's honor. Now, the Romans were used to emperors having their own divine protectors, but replacing Jupiter, the king of the gods, with a Syrian sun god? That was a step too far, even for the open-minded Romans. You could say Elagabalus's religious reforms were about as popular as a chariot race with only one horse. Section 7. The people's discontent. With his outlandish behavior, lavish spending, and attempts to upend Roman tradition, Elagabalus wasn't exactly winning any popularity contests. The Roman people, used to a certain level of decorum from their leaders, were starting to get fed up. Imagine the whispers in the marketplaces, the disapproving glances from senators, the exasperated sighs from the Praetorian Guard assigned to protect this unpredictable emperor. Even the most patient of empires has its limits, and Elagabalus was pushing those limits like a chariot racer on the final lap. Section 8. A sudden end to a short reign. In 222 AD, after only 4 years as emperor, Elagabalus's reign came to a rather abrupt and messy end. His rule, marked by controversy and eccentricity, had alienated many within the Roman elite and the military. His own grandmother, Julia Maesa, the very person who had helped him gain the throne, decided he'd gone too far. She had initially supported him, hoping he would bring stability and prosperity to the empire. However, his erratic behavior and disregard for Roman traditions made her reconsider. She orchestrated a plot to replace Elagabalus with his cousin, Alexander Severus. Julia Maesa's cunning and political acumen were well known, and she carefully laid the groundwork for this transition, ensuring that key figures in the Roman Senate and the military were on her side. As you can imagine, Elagabalus wasn't too keen on giving up his throne, even if it was for a relative. He had grown accustomed to the power and luxury that came with being emperor, and he was not about to relinquish it without a fight. But the Praetorian Guard, those guardians of the emperor, had grown tired of his antics. They were the elite soldiers tasked with protecting the emperor, but Elagabalus's behavior had tested their loyalty to the breaking point. His disregard for their counsel and his indulgent lifestyle had eroded their support. They sided with Alexander, and Elagabalus, along with his mother, met a rather sticky end at the hands of the disgruntled guards. The Praetorian Guard, once his protectors, became his executioners, driven by a desire to restore order and stability to the empire. It's a tale as old as time. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Or in this case, live by the rose petal prank, die by the disgruntled Praetorian Guard. Elagabalus's short and tumultuous reign serves as a stark reminder of the volatile nature of power and the consequences of alienating those who hold the keys to one's survival. Section 9. Elagabalus's legacy. So what are we to make of Elagabalus? Was he a mad emperor, a misunderstood reformer, or simply a young man thrust into a position he was ill-equipped to handle? The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in between. Elagabalus's reign, though short and chaotic, serves as a reminder that history is full of surprises. It's a story that teaches us about the fragility of power, the importance of tradition, and the dangers of taking yourself too seriously. And hey, if nothing else, Elagabalus's story provides a healthy dose of historical amusement. After all, who doesn't love a good tale of emperors, extravagance, and lion-filled Senate chambers? Section 10. Thank you for watching. Well, there you have it. The wild, wacky, and ultimately tragic tale of Elagabalus, Rome's most eccentric emperor. We hope you enjoyed this journey through history's more unconventional side. Remember, history doesn't have to be boring. It's full of fascinating characters, outrageous events, and lessons that are still relevant today. From all of us here at the World Stories channel, thanks for watching. Section 11. Join the World Stories family. If you enjoyed this historical roller coaster, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories from the past. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release a new video. We promise you won't want to miss out. See you in the next episode.